Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. But we'll say the good night now instead of saying it later because we've got a catchphrase at the end of every video. How you doing, guys? SithHolocron from the Dongers of Runeterra, and today's Donger deck discussion video is going to focus completely on the word I'm about to put in right there. Landmark. So, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 landmarks. And a couple of spells that can kill them, kill a damage unit or destroy a landmark, draw a landmark, destroy a landmark, kill an ally to kill a unit or destroy a landmark, shuffle a unit or a landmark into its deck, pick an ally, recall all other units and landmarks. So there are ways of tutoring them out, ways of getting them out, ways of killing them, ways of removing them, depending on what colour that you're in. Now, on the Dongers of Runeterra Discord, we have had a great little chat about, are these any good? And there seems to be a split. Some people don't like the mechanic. They don't like the way that the card that you pay like a minimum of 2 for with Star Spring, all the way up to like 7 for the Howling Abyss. Some of these are already being used. Star Spring is a win condition, to be fair. Wild Slaughter Docks draws you a random monster if you're deep. So that's pretty much going to be just bilge waters. That's Targons. Noxus is the Nox Crya Arena, where your strongest ally and the weakest enemy strike each other. The Uni of Piltover, discard your hand, create 3 random cards in hand and grant them fleeting. Vaults of Helia, that's Shadow Isles. Kill your most expensive ally to summon an ally from your deck that costs 1 more. And Howling Abyss, create in hand a random level 2 champion that's not in your hand, deck, or play. So this is going to give you a leveled up champion on the board. But, you know, if you're not playing PNZ and you get Teemo, well, he's just a useless 2/2 elusive and won't do anything. If you get a leveled up Elise and there's no spiders, she's not making any. So there are reasons why people don't like them, and there are reasons why people do like them. So, you know, at the minute, Star Spring is in every Soraka deck going. So it says heal damage allies 1, then once you've healed 22 plus damage from allies, you win the game. So that is pretty much what you need to do. You need to heal 22 and you win. And there's an awful lot of Cam Tench Soraka decks. There's just Soraka decks on her own with even more heal to kind of get them all done very well. Slaughter Docks I haven't seen in a deep deck really yet. I haven't really seen Vaults of Helia getting done yet. I've seen one deck with Noxus Arena in it, which had Darius in it, and I haven't seen anybody using Howling Abyss, and this is probably just for jinx. So, what do I think of them? I think it's a good mechanic. Some do really good, some do not quite so good. Like, if you already are deep, you probably have a lot of sea monsters in hand anyway, and you win the game. That's why it's such a well-proven deck. I don't think deep needs this. I think they could have done something else with it. I think that is trash. But I do like some of the spells, like kill an ally to kill a unit or destroy a landmark. That's good. Scorched Earth, kill a damaged unit or destroy a landmark. You know, so you're getting ores all the time. So each one of the spells gives you an ore pretty much. And Singular Will was already out before, which is recall everything, including landmarks as well. So today's Donger deck discussion is going to be about 3 brand new decks that I've made that have landmarks. And the thing about landmarks is you don't need 3 of them. 2 can be enough. Sometimes you want 3. And these decks will show you the differences and why, and I will explain them as I go along. So let me move across to the lovely Mobalytics website. So here we go. And let us show you a reappraisal of discard aggro. So it's Javen and Jinx, both three of. So that's your champion and your champion. And I'm not going to go through the decks that much, but we have put in the University of Piltover because, to be honest, Draven can win the game by himself, but a leveled up Jinx with her rocket pretty much guarantees victory if he can keep her alive. And this is when this landmark starts to really, really shine. So you empty your entire hand at the start of every single round. You are guaranteeing Jinx's rocket. And then you create 3 random cards in hand and grant them all fleeting. You get this all the time. You get this all the time. Her rocket, I mean, it's fantastic. And then you've got the bog standard Precious Pet Urchin, which is discard 1 to draw 1. Arena Battlecaster to give everybody +1 power. Flame Chompers is a +2 challenger. House Spider brings you a 2/2 and a 1/1 spider out. Crowd Flavor give me +1/+1 for each additional ally. An Augmented Experimenter discards your hand, goes brilliant with Jinx. Draw 3 and deal 3 to an enemy, but the deal 3 to an enemy seems to go off first, so I think they've kind of messed up the writing on that one. And then Poro Cannons play, they've got a discard 1, discarded, 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 discarded. So that's a very solid take on it. And we took out 2 Mystic Shots to put in the University of Piltover. I've played it, and it's good. It's only really good, you know, you do realise that a landmark takes up one of your units, so you will be 6 wide, but it's really only 5. But seeing as you're hitting everything, you know, discarding your visions and smashing with the crowd favourite and all that sort of stuff, and Urchin and Precious Pet and House Spiders doing your early blocking, Draven attacking on odds is fantastic. Jinx is just Jinx. Once there's no cards in hand, she's almost unstoppable because she levels instantly. And the fact that you can now get discard your hand and create 3 random cards in hand and grant them fleeting is just ridiculous. So all you've really got to do is play the 1 card that you get from Jinx at the start of the round, and yeah, you are elected, and you get it every single time. You already have the deal 1 to everybody and 4 to the Nexus card in hand because your entire hand is discarded at the start of the round. Doesn't matter how many cards you have, 0 or 10, they all go. Then you get 3 fleeting cards, which will then disappear at the end. And as soon as that is down, it is a good night to your opponent and a win for you. So let me go to this. So the same as the other units, the other deck. This one we're running 2 of. And this is Noxcria Arena. So this is the Noxus one. And as I said, I'd seen a deck running like Darius and stuff like that. But strongest ally to me always seems like, you know, aggro is Noxus. So we'll put in, you know, Glory Seeker and the Assessor to draw big, massive Freljord units. We are running 3 Ash, 2 Sejuani, so the girls are back. This is another variation on probably the deck that was crippling the meta a few patches ago, and it's still a very, very good deck. And now with this, your strongest ally, and you know, we can have Ancient Yetis, we can have Avazarian Hearthguards, you know, so these guys is what you want, and then the Trapper will actually bring out the Enraged Yeti, which is another 5/5. You can boost these up with Omen Hawk, freeze things with Icefield Archer to help leveling Ash. Trifarian Seeker will just smash the heck out of something on your attack as it can't block. Babbling Bjerg brings a unit with 5+ power, which can sometimes be the Yeti. And the Yeti, you will let kind of trundle down, so you're putting the Yeti out in a 3, and then you can maybe play an Ash as well, and all of a sudden you're doing really, really well. And then the spells, Troll Chant, +2 health to your character, and -2 power to something else. Culling Strike, kill a unit with 3 or less. That's a freeze. Scorched Earth, Kill a damaged unit or destroy a landmark. I think Scorched Earth is brilliant, and I really, really wanted to try and get 3 of these in until I started thinking about a few other cards that I wanted to put in as spells, and they're the next 2. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes very quickly and say why there's only 2 of these in. A damaged unit at all will kill off things with like 10, 12 power. If you can damage Aurelian Soul, you smash this in after, like, you know, do a Troll Chant. Do a Culling Strike, pop the spell shield, and then Scorched Earth it and kill it. If you're playing against a Soraka deck, of which, you know, as Soraka, Shyvana, and Tahm Kench are our 3 new champions, all over the place you're seeing people play these, that's their win condition. Stony is their win condition, and to kind of take that off the board and make them lose all tempo, because it's not an aggressive deck. Tahm isn't even an aggressive champion, he's a defensive champion. So for them getting up to like 15 or 16 and you get this is the very first thing that you play, like, and just play it, because it just removes it altogether. Now, if you watch back on the Dongers of Runeterra YouTube channel, which you're currently on, so click videos underneath this and look at the Soraka decks. I'm running 3 because of this card of their landmark, because I'm terrified of people. And all colours at the minute that have landmarks can destroy them, or remove them, or put them back in the deck. And that is too key. I mean, that is just far too key to lose in those decks. So that's why I'm running 2 of. And the reason we're not running 3 is because Tall Tales is a new card that says if you have a Yeti, well, okay, we've got that, and then he's going to bring a Yeti, and all that sort of stuff. He brings an Enraged Yeti as well, for 3. And if you don't have a Yeti, it acts a bit like Draven's biggest fan, because an Enraged Yeti then comes in the next turn. That is fantastic. Because of this, your strongest ally and the weakest enemy strike each other. So if their weakest enemy is, say, you're up against Trundle, and it has got a leveled Trundle because it's played the Ice Pillar, well then we're taking no damage and we're doing 5 to it, and then the next round we kill it, which is brilliant. A 1/1 Spider could be something. A 2/2 Butcher could be something else. There's a lot, and we're just removing units off the board. This is part of our aggro game plan, and then again with all our like Hearthguards giving +1/+1/+1 to the top 2, Yetis for 5/5s, ways to bring out card draw, all that sort of stuff. It is a very, very good deck indeed. Now, allow me to go back into here because that is the same deck, and I have one more that I want to do. So I will go in here. And the last one is the Vaults of Helia. And we're running 3 of these. Because I think we need the 3. I've went for a very stereotypical Shadow Wilds deck. So we've got Butcher, Bark Beast, Curse Keeper, Blighted Caretaker, Rekindler. That's our followers. And then I've decided to team it up with Lucian. So I went to Demacia because Lucian's great and can double up to if he sees Senna die, or you've attacked 4 times, or 4 allies have died, Lucian levels and then has double attack. If Senna sees Lucian die, she gets double attack and +1/+1 if he dies. So they were the first 2 in here. But you may or may not know what all these landmark cards do. So let me show you this one. At the start of every single round, you kill your most expensive ally to summon an ally from your deck that costs 1 mana more. And that got me thinking. If Senna dies, after we've put this out, we will get a Grizzled Ranger. Now, the Grizzled Ranger is a scout that is 3/1. Okay? If that dies, then you're going to get a Radiant Guardian out. Senna into Grizzled Ranger into Radiant Guardian is for the mid-game after you drop this. Because Senna, you will want to kill Senna to get this, you'll want to kill that to get this. Then we're running the Rekindler, and we're running Lucian and Hecarim. So there's our 6 drop. So we're all nicely on curve. 0 to do the Curse Keeper or kill something like the 2-1, and if you've got a Bark Beast out, that becomes a 3-3. The Rekindler will then probably bring out a Lucian first time round, and hopefully a Hecarim afterwards. But this isn't a zombie deck by any stretch. What this does is it increases things. So once the Rekindler dies, and you want to kill the Rekindler because we're running 2 Tiana Crown Guards from Demacia. And when summoned, you rally. And if you have a nice wide board state, and you've got that out on 5, because the only other thing on 5 we can play is a Radiant Guardian, you don't want to be playing that, because hopefully your Grizzled Ranger is out there and died, so the next round, this comes out. You want this to die on round... This comes out in round 5. You want that to die, summoning that with Lifesteal and Tough. Then you play Hecarim. You do that. If Hecarim or Lucian is dead, out comes one of your champions. And then when the Rekindler dies, which isn't that hard to do because he's a 4-4, for 7, yes, his special is very good because you bring out one of these. But then when it dies, you get Tiana Crown Guard. So imagine if you're attacking on evens, you bring this out, the Rekindler dies, that brings that out, that means it's being summoned, because that is what that is. It is summon an ally from your deck that costs 1 more than the one that died. Right? So keep it alive. The Rekindler will die. Right? Kill your most expensive ally. Right? We need that to stay alive on turn 4. That dies, it gives you a Radiant Guardian. Smash the Radiant Guardian to pieces. Get as much lifesteal out of that as you can. And then he will bring out nothing. And then you get the Rekindler, and the Rekindler is into Tiana Crown Guard. So you would attack on it and then hit it again, because you get Rally. And then we've only got the 10 spells, but the 10 spells are fantastic. A Demacia deck, of course, we've got 3 single combats, because that ensures that the person you want to die stays alive. Kill something else. That one's going to die. Miscall will bring you out a random ally that died this round. We're running 2 of that. We're also running 2 Concerted Strike and Glimpse Beyond for card draw. So this one, the Uni of Piltover, this one, and Nox Crya Arena, this one. There are decks that you can build using current meta decks, Ashwajami, Discard Aggro, and then this sort of mismatch of a really decent, solid Demacia deck and a really decent, solid Shadow Isles deck, and try and make them both be cool and groovy. So, overall, do I think landmarks are good? Well, yes and no. I think it's too early to be saying whether or not these landmarks are good or not. It's very difficult to know whether they are good or not. In my opinion, Slaughterdox, not for me. Howling Abyss, not for me. But the University of Piltover, I've made a deck with that, and the Arena, and the Vault. So, Starspring is already in the meta. I can't see Slaughterdox or Howling Abyss being meta changers or even being main decked as a one-of. As you've seen, 2 of my 3 decks are running 2, and we're running 3 Vaults of Helia, because we really want that to go off. There are decent enough reasons to drop 1 card from either one of these 2 decks. Okay, either one of these 2 decks, to put in a third of each. But at the moment, I'm very happy with where we're at. using landmarks. And as you guys know, if you've been watching any of my videos beforehand, I like to build decks with synergy. So if we're going landmark, we're going all in on landmark, which is why Jinx got chosen for the University of Piltover. Big, beefy, Yeti, Freljord units for Noxcria or Arena, and a lot of mid-range bing, 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 bing into bigger and better units the whole way along. You could even put in Ledros as a one-of in the Shadow Isles Demacia deck to maximize it even more. My name is SithHolocron. Thank you very much for watching this landmark video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you do all that sort of stuff. You can find all those decks. They are public on Mobalytics under my name. So if you come up here, that's it. SithHolocron, the Holocron, and the Sith with a capital H. You'll be able to get the decks and push them to your client through there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And until the next one, Dongers out.